Hi, I'm Mel Doerr, Chicago psychic and intuitive consultant and also medium. And I'm so excited. I've got Kevin Chandler on my show. Um, Kevin is a wonderful tarot reader and channel. He did a reading for me, and he's kind of a newbie here on YouTube. He's almost at 1,000 subscribers. And when he gets to 1,000 subscribers, he's going to give away a few free readings. Hi, Kevin. How are you?
I'm good, Mel. How are you doing?
Fine, thank you. I contacted Kevin back in September and things just got crazy busy. And I asked him to be on my show. And so here we are. I'm so excited.
Yes, I'm so excited. And thank you again so much for reaching out. I've been looking forward to this.
No problem. We were going to do it on Thursday, but I was just really tired, wasn't feeling well. So we decided to do it tonight. I was in a bit of a rush because we train dogs on Sunday nights. And Kevin says he's got 2 dogs. Now, I told everybody when I get to 13,005 subscribers, I'd give away a half-hour session. So the winner is Martha BCK. Martha BCK. She gets a free half-hour session. When I get to 14,000 subscribers, I'll give away 3 half-hour sessions. So,
nice.
All right.
Well, congrats, Martha.
I'm sorry?
I said, congrats, Martha.
Yeah, right.
And I'll just say, too, when I first talked to you, Mel's so sweet, he didn't even ask me. I didn't ask him for a reading, and he gave me one, and he was so spot on. You're a wonderful reader.
Thank you, Kevin. I appreciate that. You know, I always say I'm not the best psychic. I'm not the worst psychic. I just want to do my work.
Well, you were spot on with my reading. So
thank you. And Kevin did one for me. He was right on too. So if you want to get a hold of Kevin, Kevin Loving Vibrations. That's Kevin, Kevin, Loving, Loving, Vibrations, V as in Victor, I, B as in boy, RATIONS @gmail.com. It's Kevin Loving Vibrations. It's hard to say.
Yeah.
All one word. Kevin
on my channel too. I just edited my channel name a little bit because it was Kevin Loving Vibrations Tarot. And it was just, I think it was a little bit of a mouthful, and it was like a paragraph to type it out in chat if anybody tried messaging me. So
I just changed mine to the Aloha shirt psychic. It's easier because I've always got an Aloha shirt. In fact,
right.
I said, you got to give me 3 or 4 minutes. I got to put my Aloha shirt on. It's 20 degrees here in Chicago. So
right.
Anyway,
got to get some of that Hawaiian sun in.
There you go. So Kevin, how did you get into doing the I say tarot? Somebody corrected me on how I said it, but who cares? It's like, how did you get involved in it?
Well, I've always been an empath. Since I was a young kid, I was really sensitive to other people's energies and, like energies in my surroundings. It actually scared me quite a bit as a kid. So I did shut it off for a while. But I've always been interested in psychics and tarot card readers. And I was pulled towards it just before the 2016 election. For some reason, my gut was like, you need to learn tarot. And so I did. And, my guide's been bugging me a long time about starting a YouTube channel. And for me, I'm a little bit of an introvert. So it was definitely out of my comfort zone. But I mean, I'm getting around to it. I'm getting a lot more comfortable with it. I'm doing my channel and everything. And then, so I've been doing tarot for the last few years. And then recently, last year, I started doing Reiki, and it really raised my vibrations and really helped with my channeling and mediumship work and getting messages from my guides. So
I'm a Reiki master as well. Kevin, I can say a lot of things about myself, but I cannot say I'm introverted.
Right. I agree with that.
I had a YouTube channel, only had about 300 or 400 subscribers. And when I met Linda Grindle, I met her through a friend of mine in California, and he gave her my number, and we read each other, and she had me on her channel. And she said, it's going to get really busy, Mel. And she was right. So Kevin, you're going to get really busy. But, I didn't want to do a YouTube channel either. I thought, and I get lazy with it. But
yeah,
she really encouraged me. And my guides were tugging at my shirt or whatever. A lot
of readers.
Right.
have been pulled into starting their own YouTube channel and helping others and
Right.
sharing their gifts as well.
Well, I'm glad you listened to your guides.
Yeah, I fought them for a while.
So we've got some, oh, we all do, yeah. So they smack
Yeah,
us in the head or hit us over the head with bricks.
right.
I've got some questions that I've had from, 7 or 8 days ago.
Okay.
But also Kevin is going to answer some questions, and he's done some predictions for 2022. And I'll have him on next week to finish his predictions. So he's going to start with weather. And that's a big question everybody's asking, climate change. So Kevin, what do you see for that?
Well, I was picking up a lot with it. I do see another year filled with a lot of, a lot of bad storms. And it really has to do with climate change and the earth rebalancing and realigning. I do see quite a few hurricanes I felt hitting the US. I felt like 2 of them in Florida, one on the Gulf side and one in the Atlantic side. And I saw a lot of tornadoes with the Gulf side because it comes up towards, like through the Panhandle and into Alabama. And I was feeling a lot of tornadoes from that. I also was feeling one more towards Texas, and that was going to cause a lot of flooding. I see a lot of flooding for the year in general, because my guides just keep on showing me a lot of water. And then I saw one hitting I felt like Florida, like the tip of it, and then going up along, like and hitting in the Carolinas. And I felt a lot of wind and flooding with that too. Just a lot of hurricanes. I do feel another big snowstorm coming in, heading into New York and up into the New Zealand states. We're going to see quite a few more fires on the West Coast, and I see them actually going a little bit more east than what they have before.
Like Colorado?
Yeah, I was feeling Colorado.
Okay.
Up into Montana and Wyoming, that area. So a little bit more east than what they had before, and I see some droughts in California too. Sorry, I'm just trying to read what I have written down so far.
So much for the politicians who say there's no such thing as climate change.
Right.
I went to college in Bowling Green, Kentucky, and that was one of those cities that was hit so bad by that tornado. I think it was December the 7th or whenever it was. Mm-hmm. And all of my days, I can never remember tornadoes in December, especially Kentucky, usually in the spring or whatever, but never like that. It was just, so I guess the question, Kevin, most people want to ask, and I've answered this one before, but I'm going to ask you too. Have we tipped the scales too far? Have we gone so far that we're not going to be able to turn all this damage back? I mean, have we gone past the point of no return?
I don't think we've went too far. We're kind of creeping up to that. And I do see a lot of changes, green technology and stuff coming in that I think is going to help with it. But I also kind of feel like the next few years, we are going to have a lot more of those devastating storms.
That's what I'm predicting too. I guess, will we be able to get our politicians to take action to rectify it? The Build Back Better bill, Manchin said he was all for, and then, I'm not for it or whatever. And they're going to kind of renegotiate that again. And then for voting rights, Manchin and Sinema are just,
Yeah.
But go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, I do see them both going through. It's just a matter of when, right?
I see them going through as well. But my husband said something at the dinner table, and he's so not conspiracy theory. Mm-hmm. He said he thought that Sinema might be a plant that maybe, even though she's a Democrat, that did the Republicans plant her there, saying that she's a
Democrat? Did they buy her?
I'm sorry, did they buy her?
Or did they buy her?
Well, my guides show me a pocket and Sinema in one pocket and Manchin in the other.
Oh, yeah.
And that was somebody's back pocket.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Do you see Sinema getting reelected?
I don't see either of them getting reelected. I don't think that they'll be forced to resign before they're up for election, but no, I don't see them being reelected. I almost feel like I'm thinking here soon that dark money and all the Republican donors that are donating to them and lining their pockets, I think that that's going to be exposed.
So that brings us up to the midterms.
Mhm.
Now, my guys are telling me that the Dems have better get on the stick and really have better be more aggressive. Even though I feel they'll win the midterms, they could very easily lose the House if they
It's gonna be close.
don't like get some
They need a backbone a little bit.
exactly.
You need to start fighting. Yeah.
Now, there are going to be people out there that are saying they're doing everything they can, the Dems, and I realize that, but I think they need to just be a little bit more on the offense.
Mhm.
So tell me about the midterms. What do you think?
Well, what I see, and actually, when I first started my channel, I got a massive download from, it felt very ET-like. And I do see the Democrats staying in power for probably this next decade, and I think our Earth really needs it to get the climate change and all that done. This year, we're going to see a lot of things exposed with the Republican Party, and it's going to be really eye-opening for a lot of people. So I do see them keeping the House. It's going to be a slim majority like we have now. I do see them gaining a few seats in the Senate as well. But I agree, we can't be complacent. We have to go out and vote. And and I agree that Democrats need to kind of grow a pair a little bit and start being a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more fighters.
Now you're talking like
It's so important.
I got to grow a pair. I got to grow a set.
Right.
Okay. So I have predicted, or my guides have shown me that during our lifetime, we would see a gay president.
Mhm.
What do you think about that?
I definitely see, I see Pete Buttigieg at least being vice president.
Wow. Okay.
And that doesn't seem too far off.
Linda
I actually wouldn't be
Grindle calls him,
surprised.
I don't mean to interrupt you. Linda Grindle calls him Bootylicious.
Bootylicious, yeah.
Go ahead.
I think he may be Kamala's VP choice whenever she decides to run.
Do you think she'll win? I see a woman of color president. I just don't know if it's Kamala or not.
I've always kind of felt that that at some point she may have to take over for Biden for a little bit, and then I felt that she would at least get a term. And I felt Pete Buttigieg is definitely going to, I could definitely see him as Secretary of State. So maybe Biden's next term, him getting out of the transportation and into Secretary of State. And then I think he'd be a really great candidate for VP, possibly president in the future.
So when he becomes the president, I predict
Yes.
Then would have his husband being the first gentleman. Ooh, wonder what the ultra right will say about that.
Right.
I'm taking just pride in seeing that happen. No, not the ultra right, but Buttigieg and the first gentleman as president.
Yeah, that feels like it's maybe a couple decades out before I see him as president. But
you'll be alive. I probably won't be, but
I think probably in the next 20 years.
I think I'll be bye by then.
You do?
Well, I'll be 68 in March, so I'm getting up there.
Getting up there.
Anyway, well, maybe I'll be around.
Yeah.
I'll be like, I told you so. I hope it's sooner than that, but anyway. Okay, Supreme Court. My hair was on fire, what's left of it. No offense, Kevin.
I understand the feeling.
Grass doesn't grow on a busy street. Doesn't grow
Yeah.
on concrete either, but that's beside the point. I was just scandalized when the Supreme Court kind of overturned, not kind of, didn't uphold the Biden, was it vaccine mandate for companies that have 100 employees or more. Now, the Supreme Court did say if those companies say that their employees have to be vaccinated, then the company has the right to do that.
Yeah.
And then the Supreme Court, like Amy Coney Barrett, the evil one, who says that she's not partisan, and the rest of them that Trump put in, I laugh because in my opinion, that was clearly a partisan decision that the court made.
Right.
Now, so 2 questions. One, will they reinstate this look into Kavanaugh and his shenanigans, not shenanigans, his sexual abuse of women?
Mm-hmm.
And number two, will Biden add more justices on the court? So let's start with Kavanaugh first.
Well, with Kavanaugh, I definitely see them doing more investigations in it. I do see him ultimately leaving. I don't know if it's this year. I feel like it might be in the next year. I see him getting a lot of, he's going to get in trouble because of how the FBI vetted him and all of those allegations, I think. And I'm sure that there was some money involved too that will be exposed. I think they paid off a lot of his gambling debts that he had. See that being exposed as well. And I think he'll have to end up leaving as a result. I see him and another Supreme Court leaving. I think it's Clarence Thomas. I think he's going to say, he doesn't seem like he's in the best health, but I think he's going to use that as an excuse to leave. But I think he's going to get in trouble with some of his wife's donations for the January 6th. And I do see Biden adding a Supreme Court justice. I think that's going to happen sometimes this year. And I think it's going to be a Black woman who's really smart, really articulate. But that's what I've seen. But so I think ultimately there'll be three. One will be added and two will be replaced.
So the balance of the court will change.
Yeah.
Linda Green and I had predicted that Kavanaugh would be off the court and in trouble. I don't know if he'll be indicted, but I don't know if he leaves on his own. The only way to get him off is to impeach him. And I don't know if they don't have enough senators that are Republican to do that.
I was kind of feeling that the scandal would be so heavy, he'd almost have no other choice than to resign, is what I was feeling. That's
what I get too. The other thing, and Linda had said that too, that we see like a justice passing away or ill.
Yeah.
The idea was that it probably was Clarence Thomas. But a lot of us are saying they see Amy Coney Barrett off the court, because I don't see her long-term on the Supreme Court. I think there's going to be stuff that comes out about her too. Yeah, it could be. Well, the dark money. Yeah. Anyway. Well, and that's going to be exposed for quite a few of them, I think. Well, I think this January 6th commission's overturning a lot of stuff too. Oh yeah, for sure. Now getting to Get ready. There were, I think, recently 11 people indicted. They weren't the Proud Boys. What were they? I forget what they were. Oath Keepers. I'm sorry? The Oath Keepers. The Oath Keepers. Yeah. Now, my guides show me that the head guy, Honcho, I forgot his name, that he's going to be under indictment, that he will go to jail. Oh, yeah. And I see other people from the Truth Keepers or whatever, the Proud Boys getting indicted as well. Mm-hmm. And some really higher up people in the Trump administration. So what are you feeling about these 11 that have been indicted? I think it was for conspiracy or seditious conspiracy, which is serious. What do you think? Well, the head guy, I definitely see. I think Linda calls him the one-eyed pickle eater. I think it's what she said on her last video, and I was cracking up. I see him in a lot of trouble. He's not going to get just a little slap on the wrist. He's going to serve some jail time. And I do feel a lot of the others are going to be facing some jail time as well. If he were the only man left on the planet, I would change my sexuality. Right. I like Linda, one-eyed pickle eater. I love that. It was a good name for him. I don't remember what his name is off the top of my head. But. Well, his IQ is about as high as many eyes as he has. So what does that tell you? Right. Okay. Well, and I think that I was reading somewhere that he actually shot himself in the eye, and that's why he has the eye patch on. Duh. I mean, that right there tells you how smart he is. Don't look down the barrel of a gun. Boom. Right. I'm sorry. It's not funny, but there'll be people out there that are going, how could you laugh at that? Are you going to look down the barrel? No, but when I was looking at him, his energy is really nasty. Not somebody I'd want to give a reading for. Well, he's very smart, obviously. They can't say that he's not smart because he is very manipulative. Yeah. I just have a hard time that so many people are drinking the Kool-Aid. But, because times are so unsure, they play on the xenophobia.
Yeah.
And so, now that brings up another thing, Biden's popularity. I heard it was 43% or 44%. And the reason is because of the inflation
Mm-hmm.
and I don't think the Afghanistan thing will bite them unless the repubes bring it up, which they probably will. But Trump got us in the mess.
Yeah.
Not Trump, he didn't get us in the mess, but he was negotiating the exit before Biden was president. But anyway, they say that his ratings are so low because of COVID and because of the inflation and the economy. Do you see his ratings coming up? And if so, how long is it going to take?
Yeah. Well, the last I heard, I heard it was actually like 33%, which I think that, his approval ratings have definitely dipped, but I don't really feel that they're that small.
I heard on the radio they've come up, I think, to 42 or 43%. I might be wrong, and if I am, you all can correct me, but that's what I heard on the radio.
But I do see them coming up. I think into end of spring, beginning of summer, we're going to see the economy really start booming again. My guys have told me with the virus, I really see it dying down and being much more manageable into the spring. And then I think as a result, the inflation is going to come down a little bit and the economy is going to start growing and start getting a lot better.
Well, if the Build Back Better bill would go through, it would help curb inflation because it'll put people to work.
Yeah, for sure.
My take on COVID, this Omicron variant, is it's so contagious. And when a virus is that contagious, it tends to burn itself out.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking that by maybe April or May, could even be sooner, it'll be burnt out. I hear that the thing that's fueling it here again are the anti-vaxxers. Now, I know there are some of you out there who can't get vaccinated. I understand all of that. I'm not commenting on that. I'm commenting on the conspiracy QAnon BS that fuels the anti-vaxxers. But 80% of the hospital cases are the people that aren't vaccinated. So, but I see COVID finally this year, springtime, exiting.
I do see a couple new variants coming in for this coming year, but I do feel like they are going to be a little bit milder, like the Omicron was. And I do think that there's going to be a lot more. I think there's going to be another vaccine coming out this year and more treatment for people that get the virus that it's going to make it a lot better and a lot more controllable, more manageable.
I think at some point, it's not a flu, really. It's not a flu at all.
Right.
At some point, they might even mix some of that with the flu vaccine, so you get covered under everything.
Right.
That's how I see it.
But back to Biden real quick. I feel his approval ratings are going to go up because I don't have a great feeling about Russia and the Ukraine situation. And I think that how Biden handles that, I think that that's going to really get his approval ratings up too. I've been kind of seeing that lately.
Which was going to be a further question. Thanks for pulling me back to it. My ADD kicks in. You got to reel me back in.
Same.
You got ADD too. Join the club.
Right.
And people want to know, will Putin invade Ukraine? If he does, it's going to create, it's going to be bad. Because Hitler, he invaded Czechoslovakia years ago because he said there were German speakers there. Everybody kind of looked the other way. And then he invaded Poland. Mm-hmm. And that was the powder keg that started World War II.
Right.
So people are fearful of, one, if he invades Ukraine, will he? And number two, if he does, will it start another world war?
Well, I'm not saying another world war. I think that he may invade Ukraine is where the energy is kind of feeling like for me right now. I do think as a result, I think the US and NATO are going to invite Ukraine in and help them out, which I think Putin wouldn't like, having Ukraine part of NATO. I'm not seeing an all-out war with that, but I think that there is going to be a lot of tension in the area because of that.
People are going to get nervous if he invades Ukraine, then he can go to the Baltic republics like Latvia, Lithuania, and Estonia. And he's saying that he wants to go into Ukraine because he doesn't want them to join NATO. He doesn't get to say that. I mean, he
Right.
can say it, but it's not his call. But if he
I think
doesn't,
as a result, though, I think that Putin is going to actually leave because the Russian oligarchs really don't want another war, and I've seen him leaving. I think it's probably sometime this year, sometime next year. I think as a result, probably of what he does in Ukraine.
well, my guides tell me if he does invade Ukraine, he's biting off a doo-doo sandwich.
Oh, I agree.
Because I said doo-doo, you all. Because I think you're right, NATO and also the European Union, they would send in a lot of help, even the US. And so, it'd kind of be like when the Soviet Union was in Afghanistan and then we were there, which was the Republicans got us in that war.
Right.
They had nothing to do with 9/11. But anyway, so if he does invade Ukraine, I can see boots on the ground from NATO and from the European Union. And, if he does, he won't be successful. It'll seem for a while as if he will be, but then he won't. And
Yeah,
I
I
think you're
agree.
right. When I try to see Putin in office or staying in power for any amount of time, I can't. I don't see anything, which means he won't. I don't know if it's as soon as this year. That part I don't know because my timing's horrible. But I do see him gone. So
Yeah, I think it's going to be here sooner than later, to be honest with you. And I think with that, with him leaving, there's going to be a lot of changes in Russia. I think that the next one will they'll be more willing to work with the US, but then the next president after that, I think we're going to actually surprisingly be good allies, and there's going to be a lot of really great changes for Russia.
Oh, good. If I look at Belarus, people are asking about that. I'm seeing that country with a civil war. I mean,
Yeah.
already that president, he didn't win. He cheated, just like Cheeto had.
Right.
So a lot of people are fleeing Belarus. They're going to Poland and all through Europe. But I still see people standing up and saying enough. So I hate violence, but I think it's going to get violent there. And I see that almost like a civil war happening there.
Yeah, I haven't focused too much on Belarus, but as you were saying it, yeah, I could definitely feel that the energy is probably headed that way.
If he invades
unfortunate.
Ukraine, it's going to destabilize that whole area. So
I don't think he'll be successful in it.
I don't know either. Well, it might look like he is, but he won't.
Yeah, not for long anyway.
Exactly. Okay. Let me see here. So Supreme Court, I'm looking. Okay. Martha BCK that won the free session. Her question is, will Sean Hannity spill the beans? And what's in the future for his career?
Well, I definitely see him leaving Fox here soon. I think if push came to shove, like if he was going to get jail time over it, he would cooperate. But other than that, I don't see him openly cooperating.
Look what I pulled.
Yeah, he'd fight it.
Struggles. I'm sorry.
I said, yeah, he's going to fight that.
He'll fight back, but ultimately I do see him off Fox News.
Yeah.
My feeling is at some point they might even charge him with something to try to get him to talk.
Yeah, it could be.
But then another question, what about McCarthy? He clearly wants to be Speaker of the House, but
yeah, that's not going to happen.
No, thank you. I don't see that happening either.
Mm-hmm.
But he refuses to cooperate with the 911 commission because he said that the people he wanted to put on the commission, they wouldn't let on the commission and blah, blah, blah. He pulled the repute thing. So do you see them subpoenaing him? And if so, if he doesn't cooperate, do you see them indicting him for defiance of Congress?
I do see him being subpoenaed, and I don't think that he will willingly testify, but then he's going to get that. He's going to be indicted, is what I'm feeling.
I see him subpoenaed as well, and he might say, I don't recall. But I watched Glenn Beck, and Glenn Beck said he really kind of gave a marquee witness against Trump because he's already said publicly that he told Trump not, or to tell him to go home or whatever
Right.
he said. And then now he says, all that never have a conversation. So
Well,
really,
can you just imagine the outrage that what would have happened if Hillary refused to testify for the Benghazi hearings? The Republicans would have a field day over it.
well, look at Moscow Mitch when Biden went to Georgia and was speaking up. And what was it Moscow Mitch said? Well, he can't compare us to George Wallace. You know, Moscow Mitch clearly has double standards.
Right.
You know, we can't have a Supreme Court nominee. It's an election year. And then during election year, he puts one through. It's like,
It's a great Mitch McConnell impression.
I see him in trouble too.
Yeah. I actually see him leaving. I think it's going to happen after the midterms.
Well, because they're going to investigate his wife.
Well, and I think he's in very poor health. And I think that the Republicans, he's not outspoken about being a Trump supporter. So I see that hurting him as a result. I actually see the Republican Party after midterms splintering into two parties. You're going to have the more moderate and then the crazy radicals.
The only good thing I can say about Mitch McConnell is that he doesn't like Trump.
Yeah, about it.
About it. And he's from Kentucky, which is, you know, Kentucky is, you know, it's a red state, but they've got a governor who's a Democrat, Governor Bashir.
Yeah.
And so he's a really good governor. And even the reputes down there like him.
Oh, I know. Well, and his dad was governor of Kentucky too, wasn't he?
His father
Yeah.
was the governor of Kentucky. I'm from Kentucky, as you well know. So.
Yeah.
Geography down there is beautiful. Some of the attitudes aren't, but I do see Kentucky turning more blue. So good.
That is good. Well, and I think you have like Louisville and a lot of like Louisville's really blue, and that's growing and getting bigger, right?
I don't know how blue Louisville is. There's certain areas of Louisville that are blue. There's other areas that are not. The mayor of Louisville is a Democrat, or was.
Yeah.
But you know, you get in the rural areas of Kentucky, up in the mountains and things like that, then you know, a lot of the people aren't that well educated, and they
Right.
well, even educated people drank Trump's Kool-Aid. But
I'm from Ohio, so we have a lot of rural areas too. In the last couple of elections, we've tended to be a lot more redder.
so a lot of people in Kentucky don't like Mitch McConnell.
Yeah,
And
he has very low approval ratings.
and as a former Kentuckian, I don't like him either. Somebody said my impression of Mitch McConnell was really bad. I said, yeah, that's why it's so funny.
Right.
I can do the Wicked Witch as West.
I don't think it's that bad.
That's all right. But okay. You know, I got a comment from somebody the other day when Linda was on my show, and it's that Linda and I spent too much time in the beginning laughing and having a good time, and that we should have gotten to the questions, and that her time was valuable too. And my response is as follows: whoever made that comment, if you don't like it, you don't have to watch.
Right.
And laughter is healing. So
there's nothing wrong with having a good time with a friend.
Thank you. Like we're doing. Yay.
Yeah.
All righty. Ooh, Heather K. I'm from Chicago. Hey, Heather, from Chicago suburbs. Okay. Will Tucker Carlson and Matt Gaetz ever be held accountable? What do you think?
Well, Matt Gaetz, I've always seen in jail. He's going to get in quite a bit of trouble.
Yeah, I've always seen him under indictment and orange.
Well, you know, it's interesting too, because with Matt Gaetz over the summer, I was feeling like he would start being indicted, but something changed with the energy. And I think, I don't remember who the other person was that was involved with that scandal. I think that he gave up a lot more information on Gaetz, so I think they're further investigating on him. But I think here soon he's going to be indicted, and he'll ultimately spend quite a few years in jail.
Well, I think that just saying how we say her first name, Maxwell, she was indicted, and so I don't think Matt Gaetz had anything to do with that, but
no,
it's really going to spur a lot of investigations and allegations against, you know, child abuse and trafficking and all of that.
Yeah, for sure. Tucker Carlson, I see him separating with Fox. There may be some investigations in him, but right now I don't feel any indictments anyway.
Well, he's setting himself up to run for political office because he thinks
Yeah.
all that in a piece of toast. But I asked about Tucker Carlson if he'd win like president or something like that.
No, it doesn't look very good for him, does it?
Don't look too good there, Tucker. I agree. There's going to be a lot of stuff that comes out on him.
Oh yeah.
And Linda had said that this January 6th commission, they're just scratching the surface now. They're going to uncover so much stuff.
Get ready.
Well, my guides show me that at some point a special prosecutor will be appointed.
Oh, that's interesting.
Nobody else has predicted that, but that's what I keep seeing. What are your feelings on that one?
I hadn't thought of that until you said it, but as soon as you said it, I got like a big yes.
Okay. Yeah, it just hit me like
Yeah.
a ton of bricks. All right, so let me see here. We're getting to questions. Somebody said I say too much, so I can't do that.
I've gotten that complaint as well. I think it's an ADD thing.
It's ADD, and that just means we're taking the mental pause.
Right.
Okay. Let me see here. I'm looking. And let me see. Oh, somebody's asking the future of Mike Pence.
I'm not saying.
I'm laughing at the question. I'm laughing at what I see for his future.
I'm not seeing any political office for him in the future. He will never be the head of the Republican ticket, and I think he's about done with his political career. He might try, but I don't see him being successful in it.
I guess the next question is, I see him invited to talk to the January 6th commission.
Yeah.
Do you think he'll honor the invitation is my question.
I think he's going to try to fight back a little bit, but I do see him ended up cooperating. I think that there's going to be a lot of back and forth between him and the commission. I think it's probably going to be behind closed doors, but yeah, I think he will ultimately testify.
Well, we just answered this one from Tiffany. It says, after information comes out from the 1/6 commission, will we be surprised to hear about some names being connected? Yes, we will be, but it's stuff we knew anyway.
Yeah.
Psychically, we knew.
Yeah, a lot of stuff that we've talked about for a while. But I do see a lot of the shock and outrage among, people watching the news and all throughout America over it.
Mary Ann Z asks, she's heard speculation that Marjorie Taylor Greene, I call her the unintelligent blonde. I used to be blonde. I'm not making fun of blondes. She wants to know, she's heard speculation that Marjorie Taylor Greene is the person carrying and planting pipe bombs at the Capitol. What do you say? I don't think she had
I don't feel it.
I don't see that at all.
I see her involved in the coup attempt. I think she was helping give out the layout of the Capitol to other people. And I see her involved in that aspect, but not in placing a bomb.
Correct. Okay. Let me take a look. Oh, Corrine T. This is a good one. Will Charles Booker defeat Rand Paul for U.S. Senator in Kentucky? In other words, if Rand Paul runs again for U.S. Senator, will he win?
I'm not sure who that is off the top of my head, but I do feel Rand Paul out.
Yeah, Rand Paul's that guy that, you know who Rand, he looks like.
I know who Rand Paul is. I'm not sure who Booker is, but yeah, I see Rand Paul out.
He's a physician, Rand Paul, and when he goes on and was really attacking Dr. Fauci, I thought, to myself, okay, Rand, you're an ophthalmologist, call it a day.
Right. And and Fauci actually went back at him and was attacking him.
Fauci was great.
He was great.
I agree. Fauci gave him a few knockout punches.
He came prepared for
I loved it.
Yeah, it was great.
Rand Paul, I call him Brillo pad head. Looks like they permed his hair too long. You've seen people with hair permed too long and it frizzes. I'm like, get over it. Oh my God. Ted Cruz. Somebody asked, what is the future for Ted Cruz?
I see Ted Cruz out. I think he will try to run for president in 2024 for the Republicans. I don't see him being successful. Now, I know a lot of other readers see Beto as governor. I have not seen that. I see that he will probably take Ted Cruz's seat, is what I'm feeling.
I did see Beto in a high political position.
Yeah.
And I thought it would be governor of Texas. But that's interesting. I've never actually seen him running for Senate futuristically, but the prediction I said, I see him in a high government position.
Yeah. I think he's going to come close for governor, but I kind of feel like there's still a lot of cheating going on in Texas. And I think he's going to build enough momentum that when it comes to 2024, I think he'll take the Senate seat, is what I'm feeling.
Okay.
I hope I'm wrong, though. I think he would be a great governor, but.
Okay. What about Abbott, the governor? See, I see Abbott gone.
He's out. I think he actually might be primaried out.
Oh, yay. That means
I kind of feel a woman coming in. I'm not sure if I feel like if it was a woman, it would probably, I feel like she would be a Republican, but it might not be this election. It might be the next governor election, but I feel a woman coming in power in Texas.
Okay. I met Ann Richards once. Ann Richards, she was a former governor of Texas.
Yeah.
She was a Democrat. She's well, she was tough. She was nice, but she was tough. I met her at the airport. I was at Bergstrom in Texas. And I said, "Are you Ann Richards?" "Well, yes, I am." And we had a great conversation. She was really neat. I said, "You should run for politics again." She goes, "No, I'm done with that."
Right. Yeah, I think eventually we'll see a woman governor in Texas again.
Okay, here's a good one. PB, will there be a water breach to the St. Lawrence Seaway inwards to upstate New York area? I don't see that.
I'm not sure where that is. I haven't heard of that, but no, I'm not feeling that either.
We've already answered this one. Donna MC said, will any big name people be convicted for the January 6th crime? And the answer is yes, absolutely.
There's going to be quite a few Republicans that will be indicted, and there will be a few of them, I think, that actually get some jail time. I don't think it's going to be anything major or probably what we think that they deserve, but it's not going to be just a slap on the wrist.
Vargas family wants to know, will manufacturing come back to the USA over the next 5 years? I see they're going to give incentive for more small businesses to grow. Mm-hmm. And really alternative energy, green energy is going to be huge.
Yeah.
So maybe manufacturing in those areas, but some of it that's gone is going to stay gone.
I see manufacturing coming back, but it's not going to be like what America was, in the 70s and 80s. But I agree. I think it's going to be a lot more green technology forward.
That's what I see. Right.
Yeah, for sure.
Energy. Okay, Elizabeth G. Will the government give the people a tax break on some of the unemployment income like they did last tax season? I see.
Well, I was on unemployment. I lost my job because I was a server when COVID hit, and the restaurant I worked at closed down. So I was unemployed for about 1.5 years. I'm not feeling it this time around. I don't know what your thoughts are, but because they did a lot the year before.
I do see tax breaks coming. Absolutely. I don't know if it's this year, but I think that one for the child tax break or something just ran out. I do see Biden being very proactive coming up about trying to stop inflation and the supply chain crisis, which I see going by the wayside this year.
It's going to get a lot better.
I don't think Biden is so worried about the midterms right now. I just think he's trying to get things straightened out in the country.
Yeah.
And it looks like he's not taking action. He is. He's just not as outspoken about it as Trump was.
Yeah. I know we were talking about the Build Back Better earlier. And what I ultimately see with that is that it will pass, but I feel like it's going to be broken down and passed in a couple separate bills is what I'm feeling.
That's what I had said. They'll kind of water it down, and then exactly. And then when we'll say when the Dems hold the Senate and the House, at that point there will be more senators that'll vote for Build Back Better, so
Yeah.
they can ultimately get the whole program put through.
I think something's going to come through this year before midterms. So
Why? And even with voter
something,
rights.
yeah, I'm feeling it's probably more in the summer though, end of spring, summer. It's a little bit out there still, but
Well,
we'll get
Linda
it done
Campbell
before
says it's
midterms.
commensurate with a New Deal, and I agree with that from FDR. So
Yeah.
okay. Okay, DD Abel wants to know, how's Kamala Harris doing? We haven't talked about her in a while.
Well, I feel like she's a little stressed. Well, she's definitely very stressed. Um, and I feel like this last year she was really kind of struggling a little bit to get her footing in the position, but I feel like she's getting a lot more comfortable, and we're going to see her be a lot more vocal coming up this year and before midterms.
I pulled a card for her,
Oh, nice. Yeah.
the Empress.
I've always felt her as president. I always have.
Okay, well, you heard that here, everybody.
When Biden picked her as his VP nominee, she just had this like glowing aura around her, and I got a big hit that she will be the first woman president.
Well, I think people want to see, they're perceiving that she's not doing enough. A lot of people are.
Yeah.
But I think she's doing a lot. She's just not vocal about it.
Right. Behind the scenes, she's doing a lot.
Right.
And I think she's being groomed to possibly take over for Biden and to be president one day.
I agree with that. I never thought about that until you just said that. When you did, I got cold chills and I heard yes.
Yeah. I feel like it's going to happen after. I think Biden will get reelected again in 2024, and then maybe a year or two when I think she'll end up taking over for him. I think Biden will be okay, but I'm not seeing anything bad happening with him. But I think he'll be tired and ready to step down, and Kamala will take over.
Okay, so we asked about Sean Hannity, right? I think we did.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, here we've already answered this one. PJB wants to know, will Garland appoint a special counsel to investigate January 6th? And we've already said yes.
Yeah.
Okay, here's a good one for you. This is by Patricia. How will Chicago do weather-wise the next 3 months? Snow, cold?
I definitely feel, like a warm start to winter, turning a bit colder throughout like the middle north part of America and the New England. I think I do see some snow coming in too. I'm seeing a major storm hitting New York and going up into the New England, but maybe not so much for Chicago, but I definitely see some snow and it getting chillier. It was crazy. At Christmas week here in Ohio, I'm east of Cleveland. It was 60 degrees out. I mean, it's just unheard of.
In Kentucky, Gary and I were ready to leave, and I had my suitcase packed, had all warm clothes. I said, Gary, check the weather in Louisville. He goes, Mel, it's going to be like 71 or 72. So I had to put more like spring clothes in there. And I cannot remember on Christmas Day when it's 72 in Louisville. It's crazy. Right. And then the next day I got kind of in the 50s. And then the next day it was in the 70s again.
Yeah. I mean, even the 50s is still pretty warm.
And then we came back to Chicago too, got really cold here. I think we're going to have, Chicago has snowstorms. Last year we had 4 snowstorms in like 3 or 4 weeks, but I think this year is going to be colder than last year. And I think we're going to have snowstorms that, 8, 9 inches. What I do see for Chicago though, is in the spring, we'll think spring has sprung and we're going to get a late spring storm. So
yeah, we normally get that here in Ohio too, something into end of March.
Right. Okay, here's a good one. Jocelyn Surden wants to know, will the persons involved in placing the bombs on January the 6th be found out and charged this year?
I don't know if they'll be charged this year, but they will find them. I feel like it's a woman and a male that were in.
I see 3 or 4 people involved, like where to place them. Maybe the guy made them. I do see a woman.
Yeah. But they will be found out and ultimately will be charged. I'm not sure if it's this year or not.
Okay, final question. What will happen to Satan in Florida?
No, he's out of there. I think he's going to try to get the Republican nominee ticket in 2024. I don't see it being successful. That's if he's not in jail by then.
Oh, you see him indicted and going to jail?
I see him being indicted.
For?
It feels like it has something to do with it's money related, and I think that maybe that Matt Gaetz, the sex allegations, trafficking, I think he may have been involved in that as well.
Whoa, you heard it here first. All right, Kevin. Whoa, this has been so much fun. And so would you like to do next week so we can finish your my 2022 predictions? I've already done some of mine, but would you like to do it next week?
Yes. Let's do it in 2 weeks. I have I'm getting a wisdom tooth pulled out next week. So yeah, and my last one it was bothering me a little bit last month. It's not bothering me right now, but yeah, I have that scheduled to be pulled. So let's do it the following week.
Would you like to do it on a Sunday again?
We can probably do it on a Sunday. I think that'd be good.
Okay. We'll get together on the time because we train dogs, but it changes from week to week depending on Angela. And by the way, Angela De Palma is a dog trainer extraordinaire, and I'm going to do a YouTube video with her. She's amazing.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and I love dog training. It's my hobby. But we'll get our heads together and figure out.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll get it all figured out.
I got a question.
And I'd like to say thank you too for giving me a shout out really early on in my channel, and for the collab. I was really excited for this, and hopefully there's a lot more to come in the future.
Got a feeling we're going to be good friends.
I do too.
I got a question about me.
Okay.
I have to go for a stress test tomorrow. I had open heart surgery 9.5 years ago. I had triple bypass. I didn't have a heart attack, but if I would have, it would have been fatal. And I've been getting a little chest pain. So I'm going to go for a stress test tomorrow. What do you think?
I'm not seeing anything major from it. I think there might be a little bit of like light concerns from the doctors telling you, you have to do this or that, but I'm not seeing anything where they're really, really worried about it, but just maybe to keep monitoring on it.
So maybe another stent or something. I don't have a stent, but maybe they can put one in.
Right. I'm not entirely sure, but I don't feel like it's going to be surgery. I think you're going to be good. They're going to tell you to watch.
Thank God.
Keep an eye on it.
Well, we're supposed to go to St. Croix February the 16th or 17th.
Oh, nice.
Or the 13th. I think we've got friends down there. I forget the exact date, but I was nervous thinking if I have to have, a procedure other than the stress test, will we be able to go to St. Croix?
I'm not feeling a procedure right now.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah, I think you're gonna have a fun time.
Yay. I don't think you're gonna have a big issue with this wisdom tooth. I think, you might run a slight temperature a day or two post-op, but that's just normal.
Yeah.
The thing that bothers me when I had my teeth extracted, they put that cotton in there, and my mouth is really sensitive to textures, and it makes me gag. And I couldn't keep the cotton in there. I was like, oh, even thinking about it makes me want to gag. Oh, that texture is just horrid. So just don't take any aspirin or anything for a couple days before you have the surgery.
Yeah, I think it's going to go good too.
Oh, what kind of dogs you got, by the way?
I have an Australian cattle dog. His name's Cooper. Oh. He's a blue heeler marking, so he's really pretty. He's white and gray and black spotting. And then my little baby is George. I've had him for, I think, 9 years now. He's a long-haired Chihuahua and I think a Jack Russell Terrier mix.
Oh, that's a high energy mix.
Yeah.
Lucky I had her DNA done, and they said part Kelpie, part Australian cattle dog, and they said she's got some hound in her, but I do not see any hound in her at all. So
yeah, I'm not entirely sure what Cooper is. He might have a little bit of collie in him too. I can kind of see. Me and my husband got him from a lady that was, she was driving for the Amish, and she'd had him for a couple of days, and then was starting to drive a lot more for them. And she actually got him from the Amish, and they treat their animals so horribly. So we're really glad to be able to.
That's nothing against the Amish, by the way, everybody.
No, but he definitely was not in a good situation. Very skittish, and afraid of a leash on the back of him. I think that he was probably tied up, but.
Well, I'm sure he's thankful he got a wonderful home.
Yeah.
Kevin, this has been wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Again, if you want to email Kevin for a reading, kevinlovingvibrations@gmail.com. And I'll put that down below. So everybody go on Kevin's channel and hit that subscribe button.
Yeah.
And my channel too, because here again, when I get to 14,000, 3 free half-hour sessions. And Kevin, you're going to give how many when you get to 1,002, did you say?
Yeah, I'm going to give 2 free readings. I'm about 40 away from 1,000. So I'm sure after this gets posted, I think I'm going to get it. So
okay. And then you
I'll
can
post something in my community tab for the drawing.
And then you can monetize too.
Yeah, I'm getting close. I think I need about 1,000 watch hours still, but I'm sure that's going to come pretty quickly.
And I'll say again, Kevin is excellent. He gave me a reading and he really hit a lot of stuff. So I was like,
right. Thank you, Mel. Mel's going to get into teaching here soon.
Yes, I am on YouTube. Oh, cool. Yay. I retired from Infinity Foundation. I used to teach up there for 20 years on the board of directors. So I'm going to do some Zoom classes, and Linda Grindle and I are going to plan something here in Chicago. Kevin, you should come. You can join us. And
oh yeah, it's not too far from me.
I'm sorry.
That's not too far from me.
And so anyway,
I think you're going to do some teaching over YouTube too.
Yay. I would love
That's what I was picking up.
I've been thinking about it actually. You'll have to help me. Like, I know how to do YouTube, but I don't know how to do that. The other one that you go live, what is it called? You told me how.
StreamYard.
StreamYard.
I'm not the most tech savvy person, but as I started my channel, I've gotten a lot better with it. And there is a lot of tutorials out there for YouTube and doing your own channel stuff.
I am so computer illiterate, but hey, I'm learning.
I'll help you. I'll help you. Just let me know. All
right, Kevin, you stay well, stay warm. And it's been my pleasure. Give the dogs a hug, give your husband a hug. And I'm going to go home because I got a pot roast waiting.
Oh, nice. Well, thank you again, Mel. It was a pleasure.
Bye.